Look around your living room right now. Chances are you're holding a smartphone, sitting on a comfortable fabric couch, and parked near a vehicle outside. These objects seem completely unrelated, but to work safely and efficiently, they all rely on the exact same practically invisible material. We hear constantly about the lithium inside our batteries or the silicon in our computers, yet this specific ingredient stays completely under the radar. When you see how it works, you realize exactly how delicate the balance of our everyday technology really is. That hidden ingredient is antimony. It's the 51st element on the periodic table, and it has some incredibly unusual thermal and electrical properties. Before it enters your electronics, it looks like this. It is mined directly from the Earth as a brittle, silver-white crystalline rock known as stibnite. It might not look like much in this raw form, but this shiny ore is the physical link between the dirt and the ground and the high-tech devices we rely on. Inside your phone, pure silicon is actually a very weak conductor of electricity on its own. It needs help. Think of pure silicon like a giant pot of soup that needs a little flavor. Scientists sprinkle in just a microscopic pinch of antimony to completely change how the silicon behaves. This process is called doping. The antimony atom acts as a donor, dropping into the silicon grid and injecting a free-moving electron. That extra charge is what allows your phone chip, graphics card, and modern vehicles to process data at lightning speed. Without this microscopic seasoning, the entire multi-billion-dollar semiconductor manufacturing process would simply grind to a halt. Let's look back at that couch. Modern synthetic fabrics and plastics carry a hidden danger. They catch fire very easily. To fix this, manufacturers mix in a compound called antimony trioxide. When this material is exposed to heat, a chemical reaction forces it to release tiny amounts of water. That water actively cools the material down and dilutes any flammable gases. This invisible, heat-triggered reaction is what stops a dropped match or an overheated laptop battery from immediately setting your living room furniture ablaze. It essentially acts as an embedded, microscopic fire extinguisher, waiting silently for an emergency to occur. If this single element is absolutely essential for keeping our tech running and our homes safe, we have to ask, where does the supply actually come from? This map shows the major sources of the world's supply. You can see right away that production is heavily concentrated, with roughly 60% of global antimony mined entirely within China. Because the element is dug directly out of open surface mines, extraction is extremely vulnerable. Something as simple as a wet weather season can flood operations and halt production completely. And since nobody has opened a major new mine for this material in decades, any weather delay or international trade dispute causes sudden, violent spikes in its price. We rely on these finished consumer products daily, but this extreme geographic concentration turns a basic physical commodity into a highly critical geopolitical weak point. Right now, antimony is caught in a global tug-of-war. Health and environmental regulators are actively pushing manufacturers to find alternative, safer flame retardants for our consumer goods. But at the exact same time, the massive explosion in artificial intelligence and advanced electronics demands more antimony doping than ever before. The global price and availability of this material over the next decade will be determined entirely by which of these two massive forces wins out. So the next time you sit down on your couch and check your phone, remember that these everyday objects are just the endpoints of a fragile global supply chain heavily reliant on one invisible element. Our modern world runs smoothly because of a brittle, raw rock pulled from the mud halfway across the globe.